What's going on, everybody? Dr. Chris Featherstone here. Here it is right there already coming out with the helium without any hesitation.
Oh, that was a good one. That one felt good, bro.
Yes, it
yes.
Did, man.
Yes.
Doing, man?
What's going on, Doctor?
Man, it's another day in paradise, man. I was informed that it's going to be a best of for Raw next week. So got an idea for the SK Nation. So you have a week to do this, and I know that we got some avid followers. So this is what we're going to do for next week. I want the SK Nation to get their best of from our show throughout the whole year. So I want you to send us some clips, tag us on Twitter. You see that at the Vince Russo, at Chris Prolific. Tag us on Twitter with your best clips of the Legion of Raw, of Vince and I just doing whatever, saying whatever, just clowning like we do every single week. And perhaps I'll play them. Perhaps I'll play them live on the air.
Very nice.
And I'll give you a shout out. I'll give you a live shout out who it was, and I'll play it live on the air, and we'll just have a fun New Year's celebration type of show. You game?
Very nice.
You game for that?
Yes, I'm all in, bro. I am all in.
Sweet. All right, man. So without further ado, let's dive into this show. So this is what I'll say just as a overall. All right. Raw is usually like a D- to an F, typically to me, but I'll give this one a D+. I think it'll be like, I think it was a slight edge only because there was some there was a deeper level of interest that caught my attention in the beginning. It started to drag toward the end, and it became same old. But there were some catchy moments in the beginning that got my attention. We'll talk about the rest of it. That there was just some really weird stuff, but just for the beginning, I'll give it a bit of a bump, a slight bump.
Well, what was it that caught your attention at the beginning?
It was, I liked the promo in the beginning. The presence of Roman Reigns was different because he's hardly ever on Raw, so he brings that level of prestige back on the Raw. The Bloodline attacking Mustafa Ali, and that was Mustafa Ali's only spot. That was funny, but it was something different. I'm giving them points for doing something different and not having the same, normal either Damage Control or Judgment Day song or Seth Rollins song that starts off the show every week. And so it was something different, that it was kind of faster paced. That was good, that I gave it that. And then after that was and it was another spot that was a bit interesting. Oh, Rhea Ripley beating Akira Tozawa. I like that. That was good.
I just don't know, bro, why you would have Reigns and Heyman at the beginning of the show. Obviously, they must have taped this over on SmackDown. I don't know why you would have these guys on the first minute of the show, build everybody's hopes up that we may see Roman Reigns, and then you don't.
Yeah.
Like that doesn't make any sense to me, man. If you're gonna shoot one scene with him at SmackDown, then shoot several scenes, bro, and use them in the back throughout the entire show.
Yeah, I agree with that.
To do it the first 2 minutes of the show and then that's it. There's the old saying, bro, it's kind of like kissing your mother.
Yeah.
Either have them or don't have them.
Yeah.
Just use them for that. I think it's a total waste, bro.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The theme of the bloodline taking over throughout the show was different too. And so it was just different. You know what I mean? Like it was a bit more appealing, that it was less draggy. The bar still wasn't high at all, but it was less draggy than normal. It was a different feel. It was the bloodline taking over. At least there was a running theme throughout the show. You know what I mean? And we talk about a lot, like there has to be some type of running theme throughout the show. The bloodline was running roughshod. At the end of the day, it does set up more of the rumored Kevin Owens versus Roman Reigns match at Royal Rumble. So it was planting seeds for that. So yeah, I mean, it was less draggy than normal to me. So I'll at least put that over. So
see, Chris, I just think that's lowering the bar, man. I really do, because, bro, how ridiculous is it that you've got these three guys, or four guys, like four guys. You've got these four guys that keep interrupting the show, and 15 times throughout the show, Pierce is running down there with 100 guys. That to me looked absolutely stupid and ridiculous, because at some point, bro, you got to escort them out the building.
The execution of it wasn't the best. That's for
the
sure.
execution was comical, bro.
At least the concept was better than normal.
It was an attempt. You're giving them credit for an attempt, and I understand that.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Yes.
It was weird when they come out for their first attack, or first or second attack, and then all the security comes out and they stop in the ring, like right at ringside.
Exactly.
And then they start cutting they wait for them to cut a promo, and then nothing. You know what I mean? Right. And I was like, okay, that's odd.
Yeah.
We got a couple super chats already. Let's go, Joseph. Already 499. My God, thank you. First off, The Miz wrestled for 15 plus minutes. Why? Second, we saw the worst ladder match in history tonight. How did they mess up a ladder match? It was a very flat, and we'll talk about that as far as Bronson Reed and how it was. I mean, you can look at previous episodes, how much I just put Bronson Reed over huge throughout many of my shows, because I was a big fan of Bronson Reed in NXT when he was babyface. And we'll talk about his return now. I was super disappointed and underwhelmed at what happened. This ladder match, it did nothing for no one. Bronson Reed had a flat return, and we'll get to it. And then didn't make Dexter Lumis make worth anything. I mean, so it was just pointless and disappointing all over. We'll talk about it more in depth soon. Awesome Sauce, $5 super chat. How many interferences tonight? All the matches had almost the same finish. And how did the Bloodline get back in the building when kicked out? You're right. Good observation there. I agree with that. Again, the execution was very poor. I'll give him the attempt, but the execution was indeed poor. So after Reigns and Mustafa Ali, so Mustafa, your boy Mustafa Ali is getting used for just some random guy back in the back getting attacked by the Bloodline. So somehow he's in his gear hanging out in the back.
That's what he showed up for, bro. That's what he got up. That's what he got on a plane for. Checked in a hotel. I mean, that's what they got him there for.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Then we get the Street Profits defeating Finn Balor and Damian Priest. I mean, the Street Profits won. It was a feel-good moment for Des Moines, but at the same time, I looked at this and I was like, again, 50-50. I mean, who gets over here when the Judgment Day wins and they go on a bit of a streak and then they lose, And theoretically, we're building up Edge versus Finn Balor at a Hell in a Cell at Royal Rumble is what's rumored. And so, how in the world, with Finn Balor getting the pin, does that make any sense whatsoever? Trying to build up Finn Balor for Edge.
Yeah, and it was a horrible finish too. It was a really,
It was.
really, really bad finish. And then, bro, they stole this right out of our playbook, because just a couple of weeks ago, bro, there was, and we said, you want ratings, put Rhea Ripley in the match, and all of a sudden, Rhea Ripley is wrestling a guy.
Yep.
Oh, really,
I noticed
bro?
that too. Yep.
Bro, the thing that I did not understand was during the match they were referring to Rhea Ripley now as Latina Heat.
Yeah.
And I'm like, is she not I thought she was Australian.
She is Aussie. Yes, indeed.
I don't know. This was very sloppy, bro.
Yeah, it was
very
yeah,
sloppy.
it was super sloppy. That match against Tozawa was very sloppy. Lots of botches, lots of miscues. He's trying to do a power bomb to a Hurricane Rana, and then they botched that. It wasn't good. The fact that she won was, a plus, because it makes her look, dominant, which I am a fan of.
Right.
But at the same time, the way that she did it, if this was the precedent, or this was the expectation of how she's going to look when compete against guys, not so much.
This was bad. Yeah.
There was something else that they said. Oh yeah. Kevin Patrick brought back the Eradicator.
Yeah, I noticed that they brought it back, the Eradicator, bro. Getting ready for those t-shirts for the holiday.
Yes, indeed. They were the Eradicator.
Yeah.
Backstage, we get Kathy Kelly tries to talk. No cleavage, Kathy Kelly this week.
No.
She's a little bit more modest.
But bro, too, though, that like this I didn't like either. There was a Lashley recap. Bro, the guy got fired last week. How did we not get comments from him?
He got rehired via.
Okay, so I totally missed that. Okay, so why is he rehired now?
The next day, Pierce sent a video through WWE from his office and said that he overreacted, basically.
So the fact that he got fired at the end of the show, that was supposed to be the big cliffhanger that they flopped the very next week.
The very next day, actually, because he sent the video the next day saying, "Oh yeah, he's reinstated."
Oh God, bro. Okay.
And the next day he said he's reinstated, and so the gimmick is he doesn't want to be fired. He's reinstated. Now it's hard for him to come on to get him back on the show. Like it doesn't make any sense to me. If I was Bobby Lashley, I would be the first person at the the show, stating my case and saying, okay, well, you owe me, right? But to have the issue with him not wanting to come back after being fired, that just doesn't make any sense to me. Okay. So Kathy Kelly tries to talk to Adam Pearce for an update on Bobby Lashley. He's on the phone with Lashley trying to get him back. Then he gets interrupted by a ref, and then the ref, and then basically the MVP's trying to talk to before the ref, it was MVP. So somehow they're planting seeds for MVP because we see no Omos. And so does this mean that we'll get the Hurt Business back? Or at least MVP with Lashley, which doesn't make sense because Lashley would be a babyface because he's the one getting, basically duped by the authority figure. What are we doing here, Vince?
I have no idea, bro. We got X Trips, man. Next time you guys, all the guys that kiss Trips backside, next time you guys get on one of those calls, can somebody please ask him that Dr. Chris and Vince Russo want to know what the hell you're doing here, bro? Because we don't get it. Sports Nation, Sportskeeda Nation doesn't get it.
No.
So we really do need an explanation of what's going on.
Big time.
We really do. We really do, bro.
So after the break, we get Dolph Ziggler and Cedric Alexander.
Right. I saw him back there getting beat up.
Yeah, they're attacked backstage, and Dolph Ziggler had enough time to say, "What happened? The Bloodline happened," and so that was Kathy Kelly's, basically riveting, cutting edge journalism for the night.
Bro, this is again another burial of Raw, because you've got 4 guys invading an entire locker room.
Yeah.
Okay, do you understand that, bro? Yeah. 4 guys
Yeah.
are invading Raw. So this is another SmackDown burial of Raw.
Yep.
Right.
Yes, indeed. We get the Good Brothers defeating the Alpha Academy. Then Anderson and Gallows attacked by Bloodline post-match. So it seems as if this match was just fodder to get another Bloodline spot here.
Yep. And then we get another match off of that, which is AJ and Sami Zayn.
And Sami Zayn, yes, indeed.
Yeah.
We get a backstage interview of Bianca Belair and Bliss. You get the Bray Wyatt logo flicker that causes her to get into some type of evil state again, and she hits Bianca Belair with the vase.
See, bro, in the good old days, this is how you're doing this, especially because Bianca Belair is your champion.
Mm-hmm.
This is what you're doing in the good old days, okay? The interview's over. Alexa knocks out Bianca Belair, okay? You go to commercial break hot. You go to commercial break hot.
Yeah.
When you come back, Bianca Belair is selling and now looking for Alexa Bliss, the champion. The champion's got to get her revenge. She's not going to get laid out, an hour into the show. That's what's missing, bro. And that's why I always say the only explanation I can give is laziness.
Yeah.
Because this is your champion, bro.
Yeah.
Once she comes to and realize what happened, she's going to be PO'd, bro, and she's going to be looking for Alexa. And that could be a part of the show rather than another 15-minute match.
Yeah, that's it. You hit it right on the head, man. I think that was a fantastic writing going into the writer's lair with Vince Russo.
That's what I mean, bro, about them not protect. To make it clear to everybody, put Austin in Bianca Belair's spot.
Right.
Okay. If Austin goes to leave an interview and somebody lays him out from behind, do you really think that's the end of Steve Austin tonight? That's what I'm talking about.
Well, see, back in the day, you would have the Raw music play as Austin goes down the hallway. The dun 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 dun. You'll have Austin, walking very briskly down the hallway, trying to get his revenge. And even Austin would interfere a mid-card match and stun the both of them.
Yep.
Basically what he would do to get his revenge.
Yep.
And he was like, I'm not going to, he would say something like, I'm not going to leave until you come out here type of deal, So I agree. That's how you make your champion strong, man. You got to keep him or her strong. And I think they dropped the ball here. Still not understanding the going back to Bray Wyatt for Bliss, though. And Bray Wyatt's the babyface over at SmackDown with LA Knight, but they're making her a heel because of Bray Wyatt's current influence. That doesn't make sense to me at all, man. Doesn't make sense to me at all as well why they're making her a heel. You get The Miz and Dexter Lumis. We cut a ladder match, and goodness, Bronson Reed returns. We just had some type of report that Triple H is dissatisfied with the number of his rehires.
And here's another one.
So you do another rehire, and again, I say this again. I'm a big advocate of Bronson Reed. I always say that he reminds me of a modern day, Samoan Bam Bam Bigelow. Like he has Bam Bam Bigelow vibes, and I was a huge fan of Bam Bam Bigelow's work back in the day. I think you put him as a babyface apart from any of this. You put him back on NXT, but you don't bring him on Raw. Like, and it showed because you had Des Moines, Iowa, which is a decent wrestling town because that's basically the home state of Seth Rollins. So you have once again, like after watching all of these debuts, Triple H is a tape guy. So you're watching all of the tapes of these re-debuts, and you see that Gargano was flat, like all these flat returns. And Bronson Reed was the same way.
Yep.
Flat.
Yep.
Flat, man. Hit Row was flat, unfortunately. And it's like, man, he comes out to help the Miz. People are just sitting there looking at him like, who the heck is this guy?
That's what I'm saying, bro. From a again, casual fan, I don't have a clue who this guy is. I could care less about this guy. You got the Lucky Charms announcer screaming, "This is amazing! This is amazing!" And I'm like, what really is amazing about this? I got no idea who this guy is. I could care less about this guy, but it's amazing to you, so it must be amazing, I guess.
And like you say, it goes back to the wrestling bubble. I mean, that's the problem. Because you have a third of the WWE audience watching NXT. So it's like just a third of the people in that audience statistically knows who he is. So if there's 10,000 people, about 3,300 people know who he is, and you have 7,700 people looking around, and as you can see, having zero clue who the guy is. And so, like, how do you make a star out of someone like a Bronson Reed if 2/3 of the audience, as you saw on the show, have no clue who he is? What happened to the promos, the vignettes, the coming soons? All, like, make him a star before he even steps in the ring. Don't have him step in the ring, get a flat response, and now you're playing from behind trying to make him relevant.
And bro, also earlier in the show, we missed this a little bit when they were getting heat on Elias in the back. Supposedly, they were also getting heat on Andrew Chase.
Yeah.
And I'm like, who? What did I? I know I didn't miss an episode because I know I sit here with Dr. Chris. Who the frig is Andrew Chase, bro? Who is Andrew Chase?
I don't know. I have no clue, man.
Oh my God, bro. Like, really with these people, man.
Yes, indeed, man. Joseph, 499 super chat, bro. The three that makes 20 returns since SummerSlam and none have had a positive impact on the show. How is it possible? Wow. 20?
That's a great question, Joseph. How is that possible? Wow. Joseph, how are you a professional and you're over 20? Bro, that would be like Chris, I'm going to go back to your boys at Ohio State.
Mm-hmm.
That would be like them recruiting their top 20 players, and they're all busts. How is that possible?
They're going to be benched. I mean,
how is that? I love Joseph. How is, bro? These are people that have been doing this for decades.
And if
is it possible?
And if they all are a bust, I'm looking at the recruiter. That's who I'm looking at. I'm evaluating heavily the recruiter. Mm-hmm. I'm like, look, you're bringing 20 people who's a bust, man. I'm gonna have to either suspend you, demote you, or let you go, man, because you're not doing a really good job, helping us win here.
There's no accountability, bro. There's no accountability for the recruiters. There's no accountability for the agents. There's no accountability for the writers.
Yeah.
There is zero accountability. Bro, I want to make it clear. When I was writing for Raw, when I was writing for WCW, when I was writing for TNA, Chris, if I did not produce numbers, I expected to be fired.
Of course.
I expect that I have to be accountable for that. You are hiring me to give you numbers. If I don't deliver, I'm going to get fired.
Yeah, it's the same thing as a commission salesperson who's selling cars. Is the same. I used to be a personal trainer and a fitness coach, and I was a sales consultant. I worked at the gym for over 10 years, and I had to sell memberships. It was my money. The way that I was making my money was selling memberships. If I didn't sell memberships, I was going to be fired because I didn't make the commission.
Nobody gets fired, bro. Nobody there is held accountable.
Exactly.
Nobody, bro.
Yes, indeed.
Nobody. It's a friend of a friend of a friend who's been there for 30 years.
Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of that, Joseph and the rest of the SK Nation, start dropping some names of all the people that Triple H has brought back since SummerSlam. We have Dakota Kai and Io Sky. They fell flat.
Yeah, you got
Braun Strowman.
Braun Strowman. You got the girl who's with the OC.
Yeah, Mia Yim.
You got Gargano.
Yep,
you got Gargano's wife.
Dexter Lumis.
You got Dexter Lumis. You got the guy that we saw tonight. That's 8 right there.
Who's the guy? Oh yeah, Bronson Reed.
Bronson Reed. That's 8. I don't even watch SmackDown, so I don't know what's happening over there.
Well, Bray.
What about the 2 tag team girls that were the champion for 1 week? Raquel and somebody else?
Raquel's playing an injury angle right now.
Yeah.
But she never left. She just came up from NXT.
Yeah.
Tegan Knox. They brought Tegan Knox back.
Tegan Knox.
When she just lost a match recently. I think on Friday she lost. So yeah.
That's 10. That's 10 right there.
Cross and Scarlett. He brought Cross and Scarlett back, and he was okay in the beginning. Then he lost to Drew in the cage match, and now he's he's doing this Rey Mysterio gimmick now, and he's been a non-factor over the past few weeks. So, who else they have? It's actually a good. I missed your super chat. Awesome Sauce. Oh, yeah. Awesome Sauce. $2. Didn't the NWO have 4 guys in destroyed WCW? That's interesting. Go ahead, Vince.
Well, yeah, I mean, they did, but, at least you can say in that case, I mean, the 4 guys were giants and legends.
Yeah, true.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, but still, that's a very good point. Yeah. You are right, but we are talking about Hogan and Nash and Hall. I mean, you're probably talking about the most 4 over guys you can find.
Yeah, fair point. But I would also say that the gimmick was that they were recruiting people too, so you never know who's going to be the next person in the NWO. Right. You know what I mean? And plus, they did it methodically. It was more of like for instance, when Kevin Nash threw Rey Mysterio and in the side of production truck. You know what I mean? It was very methodical. Yeah. I forgot Hit Row. Did I say Hit Row?
No.
Brought back. Oh, what? No. Here we go with Hackhausen again. Hit Row, they've been just total non-factors, unfortunately. Who else? It's Chase Stevens. Chase Stevens, I don't know who that is. Andre Chase, I don't know. Who else I got? Trying to figure out Mia Yim, Loomis, OC. Oh, the OC. Yeah, I mean, just that they haven't. I mean, the Anderson and Gallows. They've been kind of good little hands. They haven't really had any type of tag team push or anything. So they haven't done anything. Emma. Oh goodness. Triple H brought Emma back just for her to be basically an enhancement talent. I mean,
Is she also from Australia, Emma?
she's also, yep.
Okay, yeah, I know who she
Yep.
is. Yeah.
That was super weird. So yeah, I mean that's what we have for Triple H's recruits, and none of them have been, you know, main event level and received the push. People are getting tired of Bray already, you know what I mean, because a lot of people thinking that his a lot of people are thinking that his gimmick is kind of running thin with what we're seeing every week. So we'll see. Um Next we have Sami Zayn. Oh, the Miz defeating Dexter Loomis. We talked about that. Sami Zayn defeating AJ Styles. With help of with the Enforcer. We saw the Eradicator with Judgment Day. Now we have the Enforcer, Solo Sikoa.
Yeah.
So, yeah. What do you have on that?
Bro, listen, I'm sorry, man. Everybody, the Bloodline's over and Roman's over and Sami Zayn's over and all these guys are so over. Bro, I'm sorry, man. To me, they are now starting to beat this Bloodline stuff.
Mhm.
This is what happened with NWO, bro. And this is where Eric gave us the opening, because they went so long with NWO and it got so watered down to the point of it meaning nothing.
Yeah.
To me, they're at this point with the Bloodline. I mean, bro, this has been going on for a long time now, and we're talking about the Usos and Sami Zayn. We're not talking about John Cena, and we're talking about the Usos and Sami Zayn. I mean, the more and more you go to the well, bro, the less and less and less luster it has, and that's where I feel like it's at, bro.
So theoretically, the end of the Bloodline happens either at the Royal Rumble or around it, because it's supposed to be Kevin Owens and Reigns at Royal Rumble, and then the February or March, whatever it is, pay per view. I believe that's Elimination Chamber or something like that. It's supposed to be. I don't remember the February. It was Elimination Chamber before, but I think they might have changed it. I'm not sure. Sami Zayn is supposed to go against Roman Reigns right before WrestleMania. So, although we did have a really interesting discussion, which go and subscribe to the WrestleBins YouTube channel if you haven't yet. Vince and I and EC3, we had a pretty cool discussion about, I think maybe it was just Vince and I, or it might have been us three. We talked about Sami Zayn. I think it was EC3, it was on it too. We talked about Sami Zayn, and I came up with a cool theory of perhaps Sami Zayn kind of slips on a banana peel and wins the title. So that's the cliffhanger for that, as far as how that looks like in my mind. And be sure to subscribe to WrestleBinge and let us know your thoughts on that. Joseph, once again, 199 super chat. Oh man. When the Bloodline ends, what's next? Honestly, I would be in favor of a Roman Reigns babyface turn. I think that would be ideal to lead SmackDown. I think if you want to eventually do like a Bray possibly turning heel and going against like a babyface Roman Reigns. But the only problem is heel Bray just hasn't really cut it, man. He's been so different, so many different carnations of heel Bray, and it just hasn't worked, man. So him being a babyface, I think, would be kind of ride the wave, but that would be interesting. But I think that I would be okay with Cross and Reigns going against each other, but I also would be fine with Cross and Bray going against each other, because they're very mysterious, kind of gimmicks that they both have. So I think that Roman Reigns being a face would be ideal for the next step. What do you think? What do you think happens when the bloodline ends, Vince?
Bro, I don't know. They're not creating new stars, bro. They're not, so it's Reigns and Bray. I mean, it's old recycled guys that have just been there forever. Orton's coming back. Is it gonna be Orton and Reigns? Like it's just they just keep recycle. Like, come on, bro. Owens and Reigns. Really, bro? I mean, bro, when are they going to make new stars?
Yeah,
When?
yeah.
When, bro?
And your biggest baby faces right now is theoretically Seth Rollins, but I heard that he's supposed to be turning heel again to set up for Cody again. That's WrestleMania.
Oh,
That's
bro.
rumored. That's not in stone, but that's rumored going. That's a rumor going around now too. So, what's out wouldn't be opposed to because Seth as a baby face now. I'm just not a fan of. I like Seth babyface a few years ago when he was Intercontinental Champion. He was kind of like a workhorse gimmick, and I liked it. But I think now I don't know. Sami Zayn needs. I mean, Seth Rollins needs a major injection of something too because to me, I'm just not buying Seth, man. I'm just not on that train, unfortunately. So, what do you think can happen with Seth Rollins that can reinvigorate his character?
Bro, see, this is the problem, Chris, because, bro, I got to tell you something. None of this stuff is over to the casual fans.
Mm-hmm.
None of it. Zero. And part of that problem, bro, is that these guys have been around forever.
Yeah,
Bro, when guys are over and they're super over, bro, they're over out the chute.
yeah,
You're not going to get anybody over after they've been stumbling and bumbling for 10 years.
mm-hmm.
You're not, bro, because
Mm-hmm.
now, like Kevin Owens, however, you've been there X amount of years. You've never been over to a casual audience. You ain't going to get over now.
Yeah,
That needs to happen immediately, bro. Even when Vince was doing the ringmaster gimmick with Austin, bro, that was very short-lived.
yeah,
Bro, if Austin would have been the ringmaster for 5 years, no way Austin
mm-hmm.
would have been as over as he was.
No
Thank
way.
God that was short-lived.
Yeah,
But when you have them in a certain spot forever,
mm-hmm.
they're never gonna be over. Bro, the Usos are not over to the casual fan because they've been the Usos for a decade.
Yeah,
They're not over.
yeah. There's a comment that's saying that Seth Rollins is great because he gets great reactions.
No, from the marks who
And
are singing the song.
exactly, that's what's
Therefore,
getting him over.
yeah, therefore they are part of the show. The
Exactly,
marks are there to get themselves over.
because they feel included.
Right,
Yeah.
thank you. To a
Mhm.
casual audience, this dude ain't over, bro.
No, no. Yeah, because someone sings the song, they feel a part of, they feel like they belong,
Right,
basically. And
right.
that's just actually a psychological phenomenon called belongingness. And that's actually the reason why people stay in cults and join cults, unfortunately. So
Yeah,
it's true. And people singing the Seth Rollins song, like, oh, okay, here we go. And the thing is, it's live too.
right.
So when you're at a live crowd, it's like for instance, if you're in a soccer game in Europe, you do the right, and so, or even if you do, a football game, it's like it's cool because like you're a part of the crowd singing, and then it becomes a non-thing. You know what I mean? But that's just to hype the crowd while you're there live. That's not any type of indication that the person is over or the team is over. It's just a part of a crowd reaction. That
Bro,
doesn't have anything to do with the wrestler.
what Chris is saying, bro, is when you go to any live event, bro, you're excited.
Yeah.
You're going to cheer everything. Bro, you can go see a a comedian that is horrible, and you will be sitting there laughing because you're there. You are there. You're excited to be there. You go to a concert, a band plays a crappy song, but you're applauding the song because you're happy and excited to be there. So when Seth Rollins comes out, that's what you do. Bro, that doesn't mean the dude's over.
I've been to many concerts where, bands weren't that good. And I'm still, being a part of the show because I'm kind of making it a gimmick that I'm having fun regardless. And now we're laughing and joking and singing along, even if the person isn't that good. So, it's just a part of being at a live event.
Man.
Next we have the Seth Rollins cutting an in-ring promo. Then he gets interrupted by Austin Theory. Usos going hyena mode again and attack Rollins. Time for Joey. Let's do it. Here we go.
Time out, Joey. Time out, Joey.
Bro, please help me with this. We're in Iowa.
Yes, we are.
Iowa. Austin Theory makes a reference to the Chicago. Bro, does Austin Theory does he think Illinois and Iowa are the same? Like, why are you making a Chicago Bears reference in Iowa?
I think that went over everybody's head. Maybe Seth Rollins is a Bears fan, maybe.
No, I think he got Illinois and Iowa confused, bro. I really do. Because I'm sitting there saying the Bear, like what?
Yeah. I tried to make sense out of it, and I was like, is that like some type of insider that's he's a Bears fan, but I didn't know that he was a Bears fan. So it looks like he was one of those. It was one of those moments like, oh, like, come on, hot tag, get me out of this. What I mean? So yeah, it was weird. And I think with the Theory though, like he's at a point where he can't be making those type of mistakes. You know what I mean? Like he just can't afford to make those type of mistakes because he's still trying to acclimate himself with the crowd, and his promos are just they're too contrived. They don't feel like natural yet, and I think that hurts him.
And also, Chris, you can't warn people, don't call me kid, don't call me kid, don't call me kid. And then when they're this far from your face, they're calling you kid, and you're not doing anything, bro. You're getting buried. I don't even know if he knows Seth is burying him when he keeps referring to him as a kid. If that is your Achilles heel, bro, whenever somebody says that to you, it's time to throw down. When you're going to stand there and let somebody keep saying it to you, you are now burying yourself, bro.
See, I think it would have been how I would have written it would have been Seth Rollins would have keep saying the kid gimmick, kid. He kind of turns his head around and then boom, he just does a sharp headbutt right to Reigns, to Rollins, lays Rollins out, looks over him. That's where he gets the heat and he walks out. I mean, that's a non-kid move, you know what I mean? To just do a shoot headbutt, to him while he's using the kid gimmick. There's your kid. He walks out.
You got that's to do something, bro. It's just
and for him to not respond to that, it's like, man, you're just allowing Seth Rollins to bury you like this. Makes no sense at all. Then we get the Usos do a hyena gimmick on Rollins, and then Owens makes the save. Somehow Owens makes a save on Elias, but he stuns him because he's still upset about them. But he's not as upset with Seth Rollins, though, because although Seth Rollins did abandon him as a tag team in exchange for winning a spot at WrestleMania. So he's not as mad with Rollins, but he's mad with Elias, though. He doesn't stun Rollins, though.
I swear, bro, I still do not understand the Kevin Owens character. I don't understand the Owens character. I don't understand the Rollins character. I don't understand who these characters are. It used to be clear who characters were, bro. Crystal clear, man.
SK Nation, that's a good segue to ask in the SK Nation. What is Kevin Owens' character, and what is Seth Rollins' character? What are their characters? Supposed to be the Joker, of course. Super chats to get your comment on the screen, but otherwise, they're both good wrestlers, is what someone said.
Okay, I don't disagree.
That's their gimmick, though. That's not a gimmick. Being a good wrestler isn't a gimmick, though.
Yeah.
Like that's the see, that's the type of issues that I have with with the bubble, because it's like, what's their gimmick? They're good wrestlers. I mean, like, am I hiring you not to be a good wrestler? I mean, like, what are we doing here? How was that? When is that ever a gimmick? Amazing on the mic.
Who?
Seth Rollins.
Oh God. That's another thing, bro. You're not amazing on the mic because every promo. What is it, Chris? I'm the what? Revolutionary.
I am the visionary, the revolutionary. I am the visionary.
That's not a great promo, bro. That's being a freaking parakeet and just repeating the same line. I'm set.
Yeah, exactly.
Guys, come on. I don't mean to be disrespectful to anybody here on Sportskeeda. Bro, that ain't a great freaking promo, bro.
No.
Go watch Roddy Piper. That's a great promo.
Yes, indeed. I know the reason. I know what their gimmicks are.
What?
I know what their gimmicks are. Here we go.
Uh-oh. Oh, no. Go ahead. Let's hear it. Let's hear it.
Their gimmicks are they have good rope work.
Very nice. Very nice, Black Scorpion.
A good point, Black Scorpion. That's a really good point.
Very nice.
They've got good rope work events. So there
Very
we go.
nice.
That's their gimmicks. I think that's the answer we were looking for.
Yes.
We have Becky Lynch cutting a backstage promo, and then that leads to Becky defeating she losing to Bayley. What's your thoughts on this one?
I just don't understand, bro. Finally, we get to the point in the match where the referee is telling the Sky Sisters to go in the back. Go, get out of here, go in the back. Go. And then I turn around and now one of them's in the ring.
Yeah, a good point.
Like, bro, come. It's so ridiculous with these refs and no control. You're throwing two, 120-pound girls to the back, and the next thing I know, they're in the ring, and that's causing the distraction for the finish. Okay, like, all right, bro.
Yeah.
And what did this match do for who?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking about at the end of this match. Like, what did this do for either one of them? Like, you're bringing back Becky Lynch for this big old return, and for weeks they've been doing, Becky Lynch coming from the crowd, doing the Bayley deal, and then causing interruptions. They're interrupting each other's matches. This leads to some random Raw in a match between the two, and Becky Lynch loses. And so what they'll do, but Triple H is supposed to be so different from Vince McMahon, what they'll do is they'll have another match, and they'll have another match. And that's what we'll see, these repeated matches without stories being built from it, But somehow Triple H is supposed to be this knight in shining armor that's so much different than Vince McMahon. And that's what we saw during the Vince era every single week. Well, it was the same matches over and over again.
Yep.
So it made the angle so diluted.
Yep.
Because by the time we get to some payoff, we've already seen 4 or 5 matches between the two people. So I don't see much of a difference there, man.
No, compared to the formula that worked, which was story, then your match.
Yeah, that's
not
the payoff.
when you take the stories away, it's match. And by the time we get to the match, we've already seen it 5 times.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And that's the reason why people aren't over. Because people aren't perceived as being bigger than life. You know what I mean? And so that's the problem.
Yep.
Next, we have Seth Rollins and Kevin Owens defeating the Usos. Like I said before, it just seems like this was a way to have Kevin Owens planting seeds for Kevin Owens to go against Reigns. And most likely, what I see is Kevin Owens and Cena beating Reigns and Sami Zayn next week. So that's another seed being planted for Owens versus Reigns.
I could give 2 craps about that match, bro.
And it's so obvious. Like Roman Reigns is going to beat Kevin Owens.
And bro, something happened here, bro. They went at least 3 minutes short here. I
noticed that too.
What happened, but oh my God, something happened and they went way short on this.
Yep, I noticed that too. Because they kept doing playing the song and doing the gimmick where Owens is looking, through the invisible wall of the ring ropes, and the heels healing it up, and they let that drag for about 2 or 3 minutes. So well, ladies and gentlemen, this is the conclusion of the Legion of Raw, ladies and gentlemen. This is all we got, man. Unless we have some quick super chats of any questions. I'll give it just a moment real quick. If you have any questions to ask me or Vince.
I swear, bro, I used to love the show before Christmas because you could be so creative with it and have so much fun. It was always the last work day kind of before break. So the boys were always in a good mood and you just had a different show because it was festive. It was fun. All they did was decorate the set. That's it, bro. There was nothing Christmas related whatsoever on this show. Nothing.
That's true.
Nothing.
True. They kept saying Happy Holidays on the Tron and the screens, but that's as far as we got. So we used to have Austin Stun Santa Claus all the time.
Austin Stun Santa. Mero made Sable dress up in a reindeer outfit. Gold Dust dressed up like a Christmas tree. It was fun, bro. It was, it was a fun show. Everybody, the crowd was always in a Christmas mood. Nothing, bro. Zero.
Wow. That's a good point, man. It just, again, man, they're just phoning it in every week, man. Phoning it in. It feels phoned in every week,
bro. When guys, there used to be a way you write the show, and the one thing you never ever did was you didn't put similar matches back to back. You didn't have a girls match back to back, a tag match. If this, you spread out the card, bro. The first 2 matches out of the shoot are tag matches. The first 2 matches, you never did that, bro. They don't care anymore, man. They're just putting it out there, bro. They could care less.
Yes, indeed. Again, super chats. I'll give it a little bit more time before we head on out. Super chats will get any questions that you have. We got one. We got Rollin 999 super chat. SmackDown took place in Chicago last Friday, and maybe Theory forgot where he was. A good point. Anyway, what do you guys think about Rogan accusing The Rock of steroids? Could steroids keep The Rock out of Mania? So I guess Joe Rogan accused. What do you mean by Rogan? I imagine Joe Rogan accusing The Rock of steroids. Do you think that? I mean, what do you think? Do you think that's his claims on The Rock juicing, and if that can be a detriment of his status for WrestleMania?
Bro, let me tell you something, man, especially in Hollywood. Bro, all those guys getting ready for the big film, going all the way back to Arnold and Sylvester Stallone, even Tom Cruise, bro, when he was doing all that Mission Impossible stuff. Come on, bro. Are you kidding me? Like, it's a known fact, man, when they're getting ready for these movies. Honestly, I don't think The Rock's, like any different when he's making Black Adam and, he wants to absolutely look his best. Bro, that's so common in Hollywood when a big movie star is getting ready for a role. You can go back to, bro, the Jean-Claude Van Damme and Dolph Lundgren. You can go back to all those guys, bro. They definitely did that to get ready for a big move. Sylvester Stallone.
I was going to say, do you think Sly juiced?
Oh my God, bro! Look at Sly in Rocky 3, bro. Look, like, come on, guys, like that's part of it. I mean, that is absolutely part of it. So I don't know what context Rogan talked about it, but I'm sure Rogan knows that's part of the Hollywood game, man.
I mean, hey, does Rogan juice? I guess that. I mean, that's a question too, because he's in his early 50s and he's looking pretty good too. Looking still in shape. He doesn't look like he's juicing though, as opposed to The Rock, because The Rock's 50 now, and that guy is just a machine. I mean, granted, he does work out like a madman, but being in fitness for a number of years, there's like natural, muscular side. I'm not saying he is or he isn't, because I don't know.
Right.
But there's like a natural build look, and then there's like a juicing build look. I used to work with, like, I've known people who've juiced when I was working in fitness centers, when I was a trainer, and that was par for the course for people who are trying to get that extra type of bulky build look. Right. That's very normal. So, not saying that it's okay, because I'm not a fan of it. I mean, people make logical sense of it, as far as boosting recovery and things like that. But I do think that there's other alternatives that could do that. And a lot of people are looking for that look, and that's one of the fastest routes to go there as far as that bulky look is juicing. So it wouldn't surprise me if he was. If there was some type of story that came out of he admitting that wouldn't surprise me as someone who worked in fitness for years. So
yeah.
All right. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, Vince Russo let them know about Channel Attitude, my man.
Yeah, guys, check me out either at russosbrand.com or channelattitude.com. russosbrand.com is under the channelattitude.com umbrella. Check it out, man. You'll get great shows, multiple different shows every single week, bro. Check it out.
Yes, indeed. Looks like Awesome Sauce already knows. Like he's caught on to my salutation. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, Vince Russo right there. I'm Dr. Chris. This is the Legion of Raw. Merry Christmas and so long.